force is looking to recruit up to 200 officers from overseas. The initiative aims to fill urgent vacancies targeting experienced officers from the UK, Ireland and New Zealand.
It's devastating. It's devastating potentially for our resources.
Our goal is to attract 200 experienced police officers to consider South Australia as the new place to pursue their policing careers.
While Keir Starmer smiles for the cameras, hundreds of UK police officers are quietly packing their bags for Australia. The South Australian Police Commissioner is actively recruiting British officers en masse, offering to pay for their permanent visas and family relocation costs. This isn't just a few disgruntled employees seeking better weather. Former Home Secretary Suella Braverman has confirmed what many suspected. UK policing is facing a full-blown crisis of confidence.
We'll pay for the cost of permanent visas for you and your family. This is the second team we've sent to the UK, and the purpose of their visit is to meet face-to-face with people who are thinking about a career with South Australia Police. So far, we have 4 courses in our academy made up of international and interstate police officers, and we are aiming for more courses right through the rest of 2025.
When those sworn to protect a nation are fleeing in droves, what does that tell us about the state of our country? Behind the headlines of Starmer's supposed support for law enforcement lies a disturbing reality. British police officers are fleeing their posts in unprecedented numbers. What we're witnessing isn't merely a career change trend. It's a full-scale rejection of a system that has fundamentally broken its promise to those who wear the uniform. The transformation of policing from crime fighting to administrative paper pushing has reached crisis levels. Officers now find themselves chained to desks rather than patrolling communities. Their days are consumed by endless documentation, regulatory compliance, and bureaucratic procedures that keep them from the streets where they're actually needed. This administrative overload hasn't just changed how officers spend their time. It's completely gutted the profession of its purpose. Perhaps more troubling is the sentiment among many departing officers that they're being muzzled by what they perceive as a woke anti-British agenda. These officers describe feeling systematically overruled by politicians and hamstrung by policies that prioritize political correctness over effective policing. Many report a constant fear that enforcing the law might result in disciplinary action if someone deems their methods politically insensitive. This creates a paralysis where officers second-guess every decision, rendering them ineffective in moments that demand decisive action. The psychological impact of this environment cannot be overstated. Officers join the force to protect communities, only to find themselves caught in an impossible triangle, criticized by the public they serve, abandoned by the government that employs them, and prevented from effectively doing the job they were trained to do. This perfect storm of frustration explains why morale has plummeted to historic lows. As these experienced officers depart, they take with them decades of irreplaceable knowledge and skills. Each resignation leaves behind a void that new recruits simply cannot fill, regardless of training quality. The institutional memory of effective policing practices is literally walking out the door, leaving UK law enforcement increasingly hollow. Meanwhile, across the globe, the South Australian Police Commissioner has recognised this crisis as an opportunity. He's not just passively accepting applications, he's actively recruiting UK officers, offering to cover permanent visa costs for them and their families. This aggressive talent poaching speaks volumes about both the quality of British officers and the severity of the crisis they're fleeing. This South Australian recruitment drive isn't merely opportunistic, it's a systematic campaign with a clear target of poaching 200 experienced British officers from UK soil. The scale reveals both the ambition of Australian authorities and the depth of Britain's policing crisis. While other countries might passively accept applications, South Australia has dispatched dedicated teams for face-to-face recruitment, demonstrating their serious intent to capitalise on UK policing's collapse. The Commissioner's strategy goes beyond simply filling vacancies. He makes no apologies for targeting British talent specifically, recognising the value in officers who've cut their teeth in one of the world's most challenging policing environments. This calculated approach strips Britain of its most experienced protectors while simultaneously validating their professional worth, something many feel Starmer's government has failed to do. What's particularly telling is the comprehensive nature of the Australian offer. Beyond covering permanent visa costs for officers and their families, the package addresses the fundamental human need for dignity in one's profession. Where UK officers report being micromanaged and second-guessed, their Australian counterparts describe a culture of professional respect and operational trust. The testimonials from officers who've already made the leap speak volumes. One former detective sergeant from Thames Valley Police explained his motivation with refreshing candor. "We were seeking a better lifestyle for ourselves and our family while still continuing in a career that we really enjoyed." This simple statement encapsulates the tragedy unfolding. These aren't officers running from policing, but running toward a version of it that still resembles what drew them to the profession initially. Perhaps most revealing is his observation that policing at its core is similar wherever you are in the world. This underscores that the exodus isn't about British officers unable to handle tough policing challenges. It's about professionals seeking environments where they can apply their skills without constant undermining from bureaucracy and political interference. The Australian recruitment team's multiple visits to the UK demonstrate they understand the moment's urgency. They're not just posting job ads, but engaging directly with potential recruits, offering detailed briefings about the transition process and opportunities available. This high-touch approach stands in stark contrast to the perceived indifference many officers feel from their current leadership. For Britain, the implications extend far beyond staffing shortages. Each departing officer represents an investment of training, experience, and institutional knowledge walking out the door. The country isn't just losing officers, it's losing the very people who should be mentoring the next generation of law enforcement. The exodus of Britain's finest officers doesn't merely represent individual career decisions, it exposes a fractured covenant between a nation and its defenders. This hemorrhaging of expertise leaves what former Home Secretary Suella Braverman aptly described as a hollowed-out police service in its wake. The long-term consequences extend far beyond staffing shortages, threatening to undermine public safety while trust in law enforcement continues its downward spiral. What does it say about Starmer's Britain when those who once swore to protect it now seek refuge from it? As Australia extends welcoming arms to our disillusioned protectors, we're witnessing not just a crisis of recruitment, but a devastating indictment of leadership that may take generations to overcome.